go.
In the time-honored search for gold, muffled blasting daily breaks the serene silence of the secluded mountain area west of Cave Creek. The Jerry's 3 mine is now yielding $3,400 worth of gold-bearing ore a day. The ore is currently being stockpiled for lack of a processing mill. This mine's claim to the unusual is its founding. The mining site was pinpointed a year ago by world-famous psychic Dr. Richard Ireland. We found the globe-trotting psychic on a hurried inspection trip of the mine.
What made you think there was gold in this particular spot?
Well, I came out here to observe another mine that had been abandoned to see if there was anything in it, and on the drive out I kept looking over in this area, and I said the gold is over there in that direction, and so finally we wound around and came up here.
On the say-so of Ireland, $100,000 was sunk into the mine by Jerry's International, a locally formed company headed by Jerry Conzer.
Well, I had worked with Dr. Ireland for several years and became convinced of the reality of the psychic and thought we could put it to a practical use, and it seems like we're doing that. I don't know what else I can add to that, except that I think that maybe we've awakened people's idea of benefiting from the psychic as opposed to just thinking of it as something outside of town in a tent.
Howdy, this is Jeff Stroud in Mills County, Texas, and we're here this afternoon at an oil field that Dr. Richard Ireland, a world-renowned psychic, has predicted that there will be oil. And we'd like to ask Dr. Ireland the question of why did you use your psychic abilities in this way?
Well, ordinarily I don't believe in using my psychic for gambling purposes or anything like that, but I know that all this money is going to research in parapsychology, and so I got involved, and we're doing okay.
Next we have with us Mr. Perry Davis, who is the chief geologist.
Dr. Ireland has marked several oil and gas lease maps for us in the past. The first of these maps which we have tested was in Nolan County, Texas in August of 1980. This well was drilled to a depth of approximately 5,400 feet to the Jennings limestone and discovered the Ireland Contour oil field. This well was flowing at a rate of over 1,000 barrels of oil per day in September of 1980. The second mark which we have tested by drilling a well is in Mills County, Texas, Millennium number 1 well. Dr. Ireland had noted that this accumulation would probably be gas, and that is in fact what we did find when we drilled the well. Although completion problems in this area have shown no producing wells in the area and therefore no means of transport for this gas. The second well, which we are presently drilling, has in an area which has granite intrusive rocks very close to the surface. These rocks form an ideal trapping mechanism for oil and gas. Also associated with the intrusive rocks is faulting, which in itself is an ideal trapping mechanism for oil and gas. Therefore, in summary, I feel that with the geological data present and the fact that infrared photography, which was accumulated much interest from the major oil companies, make this a very viable prospect and does definitely deserve to be drilled.
Next we have with us Jerry Conzer, who is the man responsible for organizing and financing this venture. What we'd like to ask Mr. Conzer is why he decided to organize and finance this oil well.
Well, having been convinced of Dr. Ireland's ability some 10 years ago, I decided that it was time the world at large was confronted with the reality of this gift and also to be shown a practical application of it. And I couldn't think of a more practical application than to locate oil and gold and silver and all the things that the world is in need of. And we feel like we've accomplished that. Our field in Nolan County's certified reserves are in excess of $100 million in oil. As long as we continue to get encouragement like this, we're going to continue to do projects like this, which we feel will be very beneficial in researching parapsychology and ultimately disseminating this information to the world at large so that people as a whole can benefit from these gifts, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be.